What is up, guys, and welcome to the next to last episode of Sundays with Sallustius. And today we are going to talk about chapters 17, 18, and 19. And you may get a cameo again from Zelda. You can hear her introducing as well. She says hi. So it is pretty deep, these chapters, and it may not make a lot of sense, but I would recommend reading these chapters yourself. You can find online just a foreword to what we're about to discuss, but it's still some interesting things. Now, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and start on chapter 17, and the first sentence alone is interesting. And Sallustius says that the gods will never destroy the world. That has been already asserted, but the order of discourse requires that we should now prove that it is naturally incorruptible. So this chapter alone is going to go over the earth and how the world is perfect the way it is, and that it's mutations or changes in who is inhabiting the planet, or just the world in general. You can even say figuratively that changes how things are. It's not the world itself. It says, for whatever is corrupted is either corrupted from itself or from other natures. And so we're going to get into that. If therefore the world is corrupted from itself, fire must necessarily burn itself, and water consume itself by dryness. But if the world may be corrupted by another, it must either be from a body or from that which is incorporeal. So if the world's going to destroy itself, it's going to be through fire, or through the water, all the water is drying up, or as he said, it must either be from another option could be it's from a body or something incorporeal, or something obviously not physical. But it is impossible that this can be affected from that which is incorporeal. The world cannot be affected by something incorporeal, for incorporeals such as nature and soul preserve corporeal substances. So the spirits or whatever is not corporeal or having physical matter preserves the physical. So nothing is destroyed by that which naturally preserves. So, in other words, the gods are not going to destroy the world because they preserve the world. But if the world may be corrupted by body, it must either be from the bodies which exist at present or from others. And if from the bodies existing at present, either those which move in a circle must destroy those moving in a right line, or those moving in a right line such as circularly, I can't say that word a lot of the times, revolve. But nothing moving in a circle has a corruptible nature. For why do we never see anything of this kind corrupted? And things proceed in a right line cannot reach those revolving in an orb. Obviously talking about the metaphor. For if this were possible, why have they never been able to accomplish this to present day? But neither can the natures which are moved in a right line be destroyed by each other. For the corruption of one is the generation of the other, and this is not destruction but a mutation alone. So if something changes, there's something that's disrupted the natural course, is basically what he's saying. But if the world may be corrupted by other bodies than those which it contains, it is impossible to tell from whence these bodies were generated, or in what place they are presently existing. Besides, whatever is corrupted is either corrupted in form or matter, but form is figure and matter is body. And when forms are corrupted, but the matter remains, then we perceive that something else is wrong or generated. But if the matter may be corrupted, how it comes to pass that it has not failed in so great a number of years? So like I said, it's getting pretty deep. But if instead of the corrupted natures others are produced, they are either generated from beings or from non-beings. And if from beings, since these remain perpetual, matter also must be eternal. But if beings or things that which are suffer corruption, the authors of the hypothesis must assert that not only the world, but all things will be corrupted. So we'll do that again. It says, if the beings obviously the things that exist with physical matter suffer from corruption, the creators, in other words, must assert that not only the world, but the things will be corrupted. So if matter is corrupted, it is going to obviously corrupt everything else. But if matter is generated from non-beings in the first place, it is impossible that anything can be generated from non-beings. And even if this were possible, a matter could be thus produced. As long as non-beings subsist, matter would continue in existence, and non-beings can never be destroyed. And if they say that matter is without form in the first place, why does this happen not according to a part, but to the whole world? So again, we'll do that one more time. It says that if they say that matter is without form, so physical things, if they say that's without form in the first place, why does this happen not according to a part, but the whole world? So if you're saying about one thing, why not the other? And if in the next place, bodies themselves would not be destroyed, but only their beauty. Besides, whatever is corrupted is either dissolved into the natures from which it consists, or vanishes into non-entity. But if it's to be dissolved into the natures from which it is composed, others again will be produced. For on what account was it produced at first? But if beings pass into that which is not, what should hinder this from happening to divinity itself? So what's going to stop it from happening to the gods as well? If the power prevents, it is not the property of power to preserve itself alone. And by a similar reason, it is impossible that beings should be generated from non-beings, and that they should vanish into non-entity. Likewise, it is necessary that the world, if it is corrupted or may become corrupted, should either be corrupted according or contrary to nature. But if it may be corrupted according to nature, then on account of its past and present continuance in being, it would possess that which is contrary prior to that which is agreeable to nature. But if contrary to nature, then it's requisite that there should be some other nature which may change the nature of the world, which is nowhere apparent. So again, he's basically saying that everything is natural and that there is no sign saying that something's going to change naturally to the world. But we are also able to destroy, but no one has ever destroyed or changed the circular body of the world. While on the other hand, we can change but cannot destroy an elementary body. And lastly, whatever may be corrupted is changed and grows old by time. And through such an extended succession of age, the world has remained without mutation. So the world's never changed. Things can change, but the world itself and the figurative world never changes. And having said this, much to those who require on this subject stronger demonstrations, we earnestly supplicate the world to be propitious to our undertaking. Like I said, it's a pretty deep chapter, and I again recommend you study this and read it for yourself. Again, you can Google it and find it very easily and accessibly. So we'll move on to chapter 18, and this is about why sacrifices are performed and that divinity cannot be injured. So let's see what this chapter has to say. All right, chapter 18. But impiety, which invades some places of the earth, and again, it makes a note down here that says that philosophers allude here to the Christian religion, so we can add that in here. So impiety, which invades some places of the Christian religion, is what its annotation says, and which will often subsist in the future, often not to give any disturbance to the worthy mind. For things of this kind do not affect, nor can religious honors be of any advantage to the gods. And the soul, from which is the middle nature, is not always able to pursue that which is right. Nor can the whole world participate in a similar manner of the providence of the gods. But some of its parties enjoy this eternally, and others according to the time. Some possess this primarily, and others in a secondary degree, just as the head proceeds from the other senses, but the whole body from one alone. And on this account, as it appears to me, those who instituted festival days appointed also such are inauspicious, during which some particulars belonging to sacred rites are omitted and others are shut up. But such things are expiate. Other such things expiate the imbecility of our nature, deprive certain particulars of their peculiar ornament. Besides, it is not improbable that impiety is a species of punishment. For those who have known and at the same time despise the gods, we may reasonably suppose will in another life be deprived of the knowledge of their nature. And those who have honored their proper sovereign gods shall be cut off from the divinities as a punishment for their impiety. So people converting to another way of thinking may be quote-unquote punished in another life for never having the chance to know the gods. So that is basically the chapter, the changing times, and it's about why sacrifices are performed and that divinity cannot be injured or changed. Like what you do is not going to hurt anyone's feelings or affect anything when it comes to the gods. All right, so with that said, why, if they have to wait for their next life to be punished or to be cut off from the gods, why are offenders not immediately punished? So he goes into this for chapter 19. It says that nor ought we to wonder if not only offenders of this kind, but likewise others are not immediately punished for their guilt. For there are not only daemons who punish offending souls, but souls also inflict punishment on themselves. And it is not proper that such as are calculated through the enormity of their guilt to suffer for the whole time should be punished in a small part of time. Besides, it is requisite that there should be such a thing as human virtue. But if the guilty were immediately punished, men, from being just through fear, would no longer be virtuous. So it's saying that punishment, not immediate gratification of punishment, you learn more in the long run. If it's later, is basically they'll learn more. Because how they say it again, it says that if the guilty were immediately punished, they would just by fear, if you just scare them, they would no longer be virtuous. But souls are punished on their departure from the body, and some by wandering on this earth, others in certain hot and cold regions, and others are tormented by avenging daemons. And so in other words, they'll get them in the afterlife is basically what it sounds like he's saying. But universally, the rational soul suffers punishment in conjunction with the irrational soul, the partner of its guilt, and through this that shadowy body derives its substance, which is beheld about sepulchres, and especially about the tombs of such as have lived an abandoned life. Like I said, it's pretty deep. It's getting pretty deep, and to really meditate and think on it, again, hearing it is one thing, but reading it for yourself, I would definitely recommend reading these chapters. And with that said, that is chapter 17, 18, and 19 of Sallustius on the gods in the world. So this has been a pretty heavy chapter. I had to reread it a couple of times to really get some out of this, and more than just the first glance kind of view. So next week will be chapters 21 and 22, and that will be the end of the series when it comes to this book. So I hope you have enjoyed it. I know some of you have really taken a lot from it, and I appreciate all of you that have been watching this series. So stay tuned for next Sunday. It will be the final chapter and ending of this book, and we'll see where we go from there when it comes to books. I'll see you later, guys. Bye.